Hello and welcome to Sunset Talks, a podcast by Sunset Hospitality Group. This podcast brings to you the insights of the industry of hospitality. My name is Hassan, I'm from corporate marketing, and I'm happy to bring you the first episode. Our first episode is with a person who is the chairman and the group CEO of Sunset Hospitality Group, Antonio Gonzalez. Antonio, he's a successful entrepreneur in the hospitality industry, and he's with us today to share his insights about his journey with Sunset and how he created the company. Welcome, Antonio, to this episode.
Thank you, Hassan. Great to be here.
Thank you. So, first of all, I would like to know from you why and how you created Sunset Hospitality Group and what inspired you actually to venture into this industry.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we venture into hospitality myself a bit by luck. I stumbled into it as I had a friend who was running a very successful boutique hotel group. And as I left the corporate world, we had the opportunity to launch that boutique hotel group in the Middle East. That was my first kind of a stint into the hospitality world. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of hotels at that time. We were working in Lebanon, we were working in Syria, we were working in Oman, working in Libya, here in UAE. And we spent almost 3 years doing that. And I fell in love with the industry. After that, we rolled out the company together with the mother company back in Europe, and we decided to sell it. And I wanted to continue working in hospitality. So I started to open restaurants, which was something more accessible rather than developing hotels, which requires more capital and has a longer term development. So it's easier and faster somehow. There is a lower barrier to enter when you develop a restaurant. So personally, that was my kind of beginnings into the industry. Why we set up Sunset and how we set up Sunset? Well, at the beginning, we, as an entrepreneur, you just focus on what you have ahead of you. We were not particularly ambitious. We just wanted to open a restaurant and make it very successful, and then hopefully grow it across other locations around the world. So we opened the first one. It turned out to be quite successful. And then we were about to do the second one when I met my business partner, Nas. He was running a very successful nightclubs. And we decided to do this new restaurant launch together. It became clear that there was a lot of synergies between what we were doing and what he was doing. And after we opened that one, we opened another one, and in a year and a half, we already had 4 or 5 different venues that we were partners. So at that time, I think is where we really realized that the potential of Sunset, and that was the kind of the very beginnings of Sunset. We realized that if we consolidate everything under one umbrella, we could have a lot of economies of scale by things like procurement, things like recruitment, things like having a centralized head office, and that will allow us to expand faster and grow the business. So at that time, I think we had the conversation and kind of a bit of the vision of what we wanted to be. So more humble ambitions at that time, but the goal was the same. Let's see how this thing can grow and how much it can expand. And then from then, we started to grow and expand, and we keep on reinvesting all the profits that we're making in expanding the business and making it bigger and bigger.
So this shows exactly like if you have a vision and you have the right partner, it would easily help with the, let's say, common vision and the preparations of not only one person. It can be like more than a partner to grow a business together.
Well, yeah, a lot of, I think, changing industry by industry. But in the case of hospitality, we are a service industry. So obviously locations are very important and the product that you're offering is very important. But I keep on saying always, this is a people industry. So it's about the people who make the difference. Nas and I, we clicked from the beginning. Obviously, we've been through a lot of challenges. The market has been up and down. We're going through COVID, but we have very good chemistry in terms of the working dynamics. And also the partners that we have around that were very, very supportive. So they believe on our plan, they believe in our vision, and they let us execute. I think what we have done very well is surround ourselves with an exceptional team at all times. At the beginning, we were a small company. We have some of our team members that have been with us from the very beginning, from the first venue that we opened. They're still working with us until today, where we are 4,000 people, 4,200, and growing. A big team and expanding. All the people that are working for Sunset are people who make a difference at all levels, from the team in operation, to the senior team here in the office. So all around, I think they're exceptional individuals who really make a difference.
You mentioned challenges. Of course, I mean, if you wake up on a daily, every day in the morning, you have any challenge. It can be very easy or like easy to pass it, or hard ones. The challenges as an investor, as an entrepreneur, having another partner, you probably had a lot of challenges back in 2011 or even before. Can you tell me more about this challenge back then and now? Is there any difference when it comes to investment?
No, I think it's pretty much the same. Well, in terms of business dynamics, are pretty much the same. It's important that you clarify the roles, who does what, and have that agreed from the beginning. So the team and the partners, NAS, everybody has allowed me to do what I'm doing well, and it has been very clear. I allow them to do what they do well, and we have a very clear dynamics in terms of leadership, decision making, and processes. Obviously, we want to get the input of everybody. We want to make sure that we get the best decision, but at the end, you have to make sure that there is a structure, so avoid any confusion. So that, I think, remove a lot of the conflict. Having everything very clear at the beginning. And that's something I recommend everybody to have it very clear. Have a very clear structure where the decision making is very, very clear. In terms of challenges, there's always challenges, because as much as you want everything to work, there are things that work better and things that work worse, and there are things that don't work at all. So I always say it's good that we do mistakes. It's very important we don't do the same mistake twice, that we learn from them. Let's do new mistakes, right? And yes, all the jobs are challenging. You know, there's no, I think, easy job in the world. They all have different levels of challenge. It depends on who are you as an individual, what are your skills, your experience, your motivation. Then you face the same job with different approach. In our case, the service industry, hospitality, is very, very, very demanding, because it makes you work on your weekends. You have the holidays opposite to the rest of the world. You have the day off when everybody is working. You have very long hours, and it's very, it's very, very challenging. And I say this also to all our team. If you wake up in the morning and you're not happy with what you're doing, go out find another job, because this industry requires you to love it. Otherwise, it takes your energy away, and you're not going to be able to perform. And moreover, you're not going to be able to be happy.
Yeah.
So I think it's very, very important to achieve that kind of balance between motivation and delivery at work.
Yeah. So you mentioned structure. You mentioned who does what. Obviously, there's a strategy that you follow with your partners, with the team, and now you have 4,200 team members, and the company is still growing.
Yeah.
You were in 1 country or 2 countries. Now you are in 16 countries and maybe 17 soon. What is this strategy? How do you follow the strategy of Sunset Hospitality Group? How do you create it?
Yeah. So at the very beginning, we set up 3-year plans. And we achieved those 3-year plans. Then we set up a 5-year plans of where countries we want to be, what are the priorities in the business, what are the areas where we're going to invest, and the focus. Then COVID came and threw everything to the garbage. And we have to reshuffle everything, relook at the business, restructure. And it was very, it was a big blow. But in a way, it made us learn what are our strengths. Let us remove the part of the business that were not important and focus on what the things that we could make a difference. So after that, we created a 5-year plan. We came out of 2020 with a 5-year plans, very strong with what we want to do, how we want to achieve it, what resources we needed. And I'm very happy that we managed to achieve that plan earlier. So a plan that was supposed to be finishing in 2025, in by the end of 2023, we are there already in terms of the number of countries we want to be, the establishing of our hotel business, the size of the business in terms of top line, also in terms of bottom line, and so on. So right now we are in the midst of developing a new 5-year plan, more ambitious, that take us to more countries, that take us to a more diversified portfolio, and will make us grow faster and bigger.
So, like normal people, they plan their weekend, they plan their summer vacation. Entrepreneurs, they plan this far. Is it easy for you to think about that far? Like, we're in 2024, and you might have a plan of 5 years. Is it easy for you? Is it like with the help of a big team? How do you sit and think about all that?
Yeah.
As an investor, as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. I think you have to. I think there's no other choice. If you're an entrepreneur, especially at the beginning when you start, you have to think big. You have to have big dreams. You have to think long term, but at the same time act short term, because whatever you do today, it's going to have an impact on the future. But you really have to think long term of what you want to achieve. Now, if you set up a goal in the distance 3 to 5 years ahead of you, obviously that goal might come shorter in time, might take longer, might move a little bit to the left, might move a little bit to the right, but you already have a direction that guides your pace. And we feel very strongly about having these plans, communicating to the whole team, so everybody's aware of where we are heading, everybody's aligned, everybody see that we have plans. That will create opportunities, will create growth, and motivate everybody around that. Not only for the team, but all the stakeholders around that. Where I say we are not a company that's static. We've been growing and we keep on growing, and we want to keep that dynamism. So to your question of plans, yeah, I think it's crucial that you have these plans that are 3 to 5 years. But at the same time, the day-to-day is very important, so you have to stay very focused. Most of the decisions that we take have implication on a midterm. Some have on the long term and some on the short term, but most of them has an implication on the 6 to 12 months. The important decision: will I enter a new market? Will I make a new investment? Will I open a new venue? All of those things have a real material impact 6 months to 12 months from the day you take the decision. So the day to day, there's no many decisions that we take today that affect today.
It will affect in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to prioritize and think about. And most of the very, very important decisions are decisions that you think, oh, these are things that where we want to be in 3 years. When you have decisions that have an impact on 3 to 5 years, you work a lot on those, because that set the direction, that make you create a path, dedicate resources. So it's very, very important to take time and plan those 3 to 5 year plans very, very carefully.
Definitely. Sunset Hospitality has 4 divisions, which is hotels and resorts, nightlife, day life, and dining. Do you find with the team challenges in finding new concepts that attract people? Because the tourists and even local people in the countries, they always want something new.
Yeah.
And as a hospitality management group, you always have to find something interesting and new concept for the people. Do you find challenges in that?
No, I not really. I think there is challenge if you are in a more transactional hospitality environment. Let me give you an example. When you are in hotel industry, in a hotel by the airport where you only go there to sleep, it's difficult to innovate, because it's a lodging business. You just go, sleep, take a quick bite of breakfast and leave. When you are in an environment where you are a full lifestyle hotel, to make the comparison, where I have our clients coming and spending the full day with us in one of our resorts or one of our beach clubs, it's easy to innovate because you have so many touch points that you can change and you can play with. You can always add something extra. It can be in the food menu, can be in the beverage menu, can be in the music, can be on the little touch of service that you can do for the clients. There are so many touch points that you can really play with that you can innovate. Now, us as a company, we started with a restaurant and nightlife. We then moved to beach club, and then almost 4 years now we launched our hotel division. We moved from hotels from 0 to 6 hotels now in operation in 3.5 years, and we have another 6 coming up into the pipeline. So I think everything that is lifestyle hospitality, we can do well, and because we understand the dynamics, we understand what the consumer habits, we understand what the market trends, and we can really act on that. Now, things that we're going to be entering and things that are exciting for us, so things like entertainment centers, things like members clubs, things like wellness centers with some kind of
These
accommodation.
Are like creative stuff to.
So these are
to
new
change.
things that we can add to the market where we feel that we can make a difference, because all of that have an element of lifestyle, and as long as lifestyle is there, we really can act strong.
So you started outside Dubai in the beginning, but you Sunset was born in Dubai, and people say that Dubai is the land of dreams, where you can all your dreams you can make them come true. Why you chose Dubai? What did it give you? So you decided to I will set this company from Dubai.
Yeah, well, when I moved to Dubai, this is now almost 18 years ago. I was given the choice I was working for a large American multinational, and they gave me 3 choices. They asked me if I could move to Stockholm, to Amsterdam, or to Dubai. And I chose Dubai because I felt that was the city that was more dynamic. I used to come here before, and it was very vibrant, the growth, the opportunities. You see, every time I came here, it was always something different, something changing. So still today, I feel the same. I feel that the city is so dynamic. I mean, now it's so much bigger than it was 18 years ago, but it has the same positive energy. You see it, you feel it on the streets, you feel it on the people. Has managed to attract a fantastic talent from all around the world. And again, you can just see it. You just walk outside and see how dynamic the city is. So I think one of the success, or one of the reasons why Sunset is successful is because of Dubai.
Because of Dubai.
I don't think we will be the same company if we have been born in any other city in the world. It will be something else, but not like we are today. And I really think we wouldn't be as big, we wouldn't having so much potential, and we'd be so competitive like we are, because Dubai really push you in that direction, push you to grow, push you to get better. It's competitive, but there are opportunities. It's very business friendly and encourage you to grow. And that's something that I really love of the leadership of the country and the way they structure the government. It is business friendly and have that kind of positive attitude towards growth and towards expanding.
I mean, the presence in Dubai, coupled with the management and the team, it pushed you to 15 other countries other than the UAE. And now you are present in 16 countries and probably soon 17. Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Can you tell me more about this grow mentality that you have and that the team has at Sunset Hospitality?
Yeah. One of the strategies, part of our plan, the one I mentioned that we have a 5-year plans in 2020, which managed to achieve earlier, was to diversify our business, to make sure we have presence outside the Middle East. So today we have an office in Barcelona that runs our business for Europe and North Africa, and we have an office in Bali and a smaller office in Singapore that run our business in Asia. As you mentioned, we are present in 16. We are going to be entering Portugal this year. It will be our 17th market. And it's something that I'm extremely proud of. Being a company that started in Dubai very humbly and now has become a global business, it's fantastic. It's one of those dreams come true. And I think we have even much more potential. I think once we solidify our business in Europe, we're going to push more Asia, and very soon we'll enter the Americas, which is a market that I think has a lot of potential for us, where we can really be very successful. So it's very challenging because the markets are different. You're doing new mistakes because things that you're learning that you haven't experienced before. But at the same time, it's very rewarding to expand the brands that were born here in Dubai and take them to other markets. It's very rewarding to see our team growing, being promoted, taking new position and more responsibilities, and ultimately seeing our business present in so many places it's a personally really fulfilling.
Perfect. So people who are watching this episode are not looking only to know more about Sunset. They want to know more about your, let's say, tips and advice as an entrepreneur. What would you tell them? What would you push them to do if they think about investing in hospitality?
Well, at the very beginning, when I moved from a kind of more traditional corporate job to being an entrepreneur, two things that really kind of caught me off guard, and I will recommend everybody to pay a lot of attention, is the amount of legal work and administrative work that you have to be doing at the beginning. Setting up a trade license, setting up agreements, setting up shareholders agreement, relationships, and all that. That is very, very important, and it's something that is time consuming, and it's not the more fun part of the business, but it has to be done. It has to be done properly. So that's a big watch out to make sure that all of that is covered. The other part is cash flows. When you look at the business, you might have a very healthy profit and loss statement, but ultimately, how much cash is in your account?
Exactly.
So if you have a business where you're relying on account receivable, it's very important you're able to collect the money and have enough cushion to cover all your payments and so on. Sometimes overlooked, and I see companies that are in paper successful, but then they're really falling apart because they're on the edge of managing the cash. So those are two things that I will recommend everybody to be very, very mindful. The third thing, which is the most important, is to really have a big, big passion to what you do. Think about business that have potential to be big and that you really love. If you really love what you do, you can be very good at it. And in any industry, in anything that you do, if you're very, very good at something, you can be very successful. No matter what. If you really think about it, the number one person who does tables is going to be very successful. The number one chef in the world is going to be very successful. The number one photographer is going to be very, very successful. So if you have the passion to be the number one into something, maybe you're not number one, but you're number two, number three, number four.
Just aim higher.
You can really make a difference. So choose something that you're really, really passionate and try to be the best at that. One, you're going to have fun doing it because you love it. And second, you have a possibility to be unique and to create a business that is very strong. So that would be, I think, my recommendations.
Well, that's our fascinating insights, and thank you for sharing all these insights. That's was our episode for today. Thank you everyone for watching this episode with Antonio Gonzalez, the chairman and group CEO of Sunset Hospitality Group. It was an amazing episode. I hope that you learned a lot from what the chairman said, and don't forget to subscribe to our social media channels on LinkedIn, YouTube, and join us as we bring people together.